Pythagorean Theorem, Lesson 24 Notes. Example number 1. Find the missing length of each of the following right triangles. If necessary, round your answer to the nearest hundredth. Well, remember, we are going to be using this formula up top here. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Notice how I went ahead and I wrote it down for A through D. And also, do you see the lines that I already have on here? Underneath the boxes at the bottom, that's where the answer is. And then the lines I drew are how many lines of work we're going to need to show. So you might want to make sure you space yours out appropriately. So go ahead, pause your video, and get all that down. Okay, for A, we know that A is 3 meters, B is 4 meters, and we don't know what C, so we don't know the hypotenuse. A and B are the legs, and we're solving for C. So I need to take A, which is 3 squared, plus B, which is 4 squared, and set it equal to C. So C squared. Now, we can't add that together. That's not 7 squared. And instead of squaring them out and adding them together, leave it as it is, okay? We want to solve for C, right? Well, go back to what we did way back towards the beginning of the year, and this is C squared. When you have a variable that's squared, to get it by itself, the opposite of squaring something is the square root. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the square root of both sides. Now, normally I would just take the square root right to that line of work, but I want you to rewrite that line of work one more time. So go ahead and put 3 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the square root of both sides. So we're going to take the square root of this side and the square root to that side. Because remember, what you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side of the equation. So I take the square root of both sides. That allows me to cancel the square and the square root. And then you don't have to add or do anything like that. The way it looks, this right here, you're going to put that into your calculator just how it looks. So I'm going to enter, I'm going to press the square root symbol first, and then 3 squared plus 4 squared. I'm solving for the hypotenuse, so it's addition. 3 squared plus 4 squared, hit enter, and we get 5. So our final answer is 5 equals C. And we need to unit with it, so it is 5 meters. That's example A. Pause your video, make sure you have all that written down. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, example B. This time we don't know A, but we know one of the legs, which is B, and we know the hypotenuse, which is 10. So I'm going to fill in what I know. I don't know A, so it will remain A squared. I know that B is 8, so that's 8 squared. And I know the hypotenuse is 10, so C is 10 squared. Now, this is a little different. I can't take the square root until A squared is by itself. So that means I need to get rid of this positive 8 squared. I need to use the inverse operation. So instead of adding 8 squared to both sides, I'm going to subtract 8 squared from both sides. Now, notice how I didn't line it up exactly. That's because you don't want to actually take that 10 and subtract the 8. What we're going to do is we're just going to rewrite it how it is. In other words, we're going to have the A squared by itself on the left, and then hypotenuse minus the leg. Hypotenuse squared minus the leg squared. Hypotenuse squared minus the leg squared, and I can cancel these out. Okay, now I have A squared by itself. I can take the square root of both sides. So I'll take the square root of A squared and the square root of the other side. And we're going to put that in our calculator. So we have square root of 10 squared. Now this is solving for a leg, so we're subtracting 8 squared, which is 6. So our answer is A equals 6. Now we need the unit with it, so 6 centimeters. All right. If you have any questions on A or B of example 1, please let me know.